Vanessa Feltz has said she felt extremely upset by a Sunday Times column written by a Holocaust denier which suggested that she and Claudia Winkleman earned high salaries because they are Jewish. The Rupert Murdoch-owned newspaper was accused of antisemitism and faced a barrage of criticism after it published the article by Kevin Myers online and in its Irish print edition. The online version was later taken down. Under the headline "Sorry Ladies, Equal Pay Has to Be Earned," Myers wrote, "I note that two of the best paid women presenters in the BBC, Claudia Winkleman and Vanessa Feltz, with whose, no doubt, sterling work I am tragically unacquainted, or Jewish. Good for them." Speaking on her BBC Radio London breakfast show, Feltz described the column as so obviously racist it's surprisingly hurtful. She said, "I would have thought after all these years it'd be immune or used to it, but that's not at all how I felt. I felt extremely upset. The apologies are all very well, but how did it end up in the paper in the first place?" The column was published in the wake of a row over the gender pay gap at the BBC, exposed by salary figures published by the broadcaster this month. The paper's editor, Martin Ivins, said the piece should not have been published, and later added that Myers would not write again for the Sunday Times Ireland. Winkleman, a regular Sunday Times columnist who writes weekly in the Style supplement, is yet to respond. Myers' column continued, "Jews are not generally noted for their insistence on selling their talent for the lowest possible price, which is the most useful measure there is of inveterate, lost with all hands stupidity. I wonder, who are their agents? If they're the same ones that negotiated the pay for the women on the lower scales, then maybe the latter have found their true value in the marketplace." Of the Holocaust, Myers has previously written in the Irish Independent, "There was no Holocaust or Holocaust, as my computer software insists, and 6 million Jews were not murdered by the Third Reich. These two statements of mine are irrefutable truths." Sunday's column provoked immediate fury. The Campaign Against Antisemitism announced that it would report the paper to the independent press standards organization IPSO. It said in a statement, "It is clear that Kevin Myers should not have been invited to write for the Sunday Times, and his editors should never have allowed the article to be published." Lionel Barber, the editor of the Financial Times, described the piece as undiluted antisemitism and misogyny, while the former Europe Minister Denis McShane said the comments were truly shameful. Danny Cohen, the former director of BBC Television, called on the Sunday Times to prevent Myers from writing for any News UK paper ever again. The editor of the paper's Irish edition, Frank Fitzgibbon, said, "I apologise unreservedly for the offence caused by comments in a column written by Kevin Myers and published today in the Ireland edition of the Sunday Times. It contained views that have caused considerable distress and upset to a number of people. As the editor of the Ireland edition, I take full responsibility for this error of judgment. This newspaper abhors antisemitism and did not intend to cause offence to Jewish people." However, the Jewish Representative Council of Ireland defended Myers, saying he had inadvertently stumbled into an anti-Semitic trope. The organization said there had been knee-jerk responses from those outside Ireland over Myers' comments. In a statement, it continued, "It is understandable that there is a strong response to, and rejection of Kevin Myers' article, but it is wrong that misconceptions and misinformation be circulated about his previous writings. Kevin Myers inadvertently stumbled into an anti-Semitic trope. Yes, Kevin ought to have known that his bringing the religion of the two BBC presenters into his writings on Sunday would cause concern and upset, and that it was both unnecessary and bound to be misunderstood." The organization added, "But the larger picture is that Kevin, who up until now was a respected columnist, has a particular curmudgeonly, cranky, idiosyncratic style. We, who have been reading Kevin's work over many years, and those who know him personally, know that while this was a real error of judgment on his part, also know that he is not an antisemite.